Second card, Anafenza Unyielding Lineage. Okay. 3 mana for a 2/2 with flash and first strike. I mean, not bad. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, Anafenza endures 2. Put 2+1/+1 counters on it and create a 2/2 white spirit creature token. Holy shit. This is insane, right? This is like crazy good. Because what, your opponent swings out, you put like 3 chumps under things, and then flash this in. They all die. This goes to being an 8/8, and you get 2 additional +1. You get all 3 of them replaced with 2/2 white spirits. Because it's not once per turn. It's just whenever another non-token creature you control dies, this gets bigger and you get a spirit. And it has first strike, which is crazy good. Like, this is just a great card, right? I think in limited this is good. I don't know if in standard, because I mean it's a creature. I mean you can play it at the end of your opponent's turn, so maybe it's good. But it is a creature, which is always a problem because creatures just get removed. But I think in limited this card's cracked. Flash, so you can play it whenever you want it. First strike, so it can kill stuff, and it just gets like massive really quickly because there is no like once per turn or whenever like any number of creatures dies, so it only happens once. This is whenever each non-token creature dies, it's replaced with a spirit, and she gets bigger. This just has to be good. This is cracked in limited. Absolutely. Arashin Sunshield. A 4 mana, 3/4. When this creature enters, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Sure. And then it's got 1 tap target creature. I mean, the stats on it aren't awful. They're not good. It's a 4 mana, 3/4. It's like fine. We'll have to see what else there is in the set. Maybe everything's. Again, these sort of cards. It's always difficult to tell, because theoretically you should want a 4/4 for 4 mana at bare minimum, but it depends. If everything in this set is huge, this is terrible. If everything in this set is tiny, this is fine. There are a lot of sets where this is fine stats, there are a lot of sets where this is terrible stats. Also, the top half, when this creature enters, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Again, I haven't seen any graveyard shenanigans yet. I'm assuming black will have graveyard shenanigans, because black always has graveyard shenanigans, because it's the one thing that black does. Actually, black and white usually have some form of, or can have graveyard recursion. So, but this doesn't have flash or anything, so you have to do it. I mean, in limited, that's fine. I don't know. I think this is like a very, you know, if I don't have anything better, like 22nd, 23rd card, you just run one of these, because why not? Like, the tap target creature is fine. I don't mind the 1 mana tap down things, but this is a 3/4. Like, I want 1 mana tap down things on like a 1/1. So then my opponent feels miserable. Like a 1 mana 1/1 that taps down things, and then my opponent feels crap because they have to remove a 1 mana 1/1 with actual removal. Or else I just tap down their big dude. This guy's like medium sized. So I don't know. But again, it's probably fine. You could probably want like 1 of these in a limited deck and you don't mind. Standard and everything, it's just going to be garbage. But yeah, I think in limited 1 of these you don't hate yourself for taking. I just don't think you're too excited about it either. Bearer of Glory, a 2 mana 2/1. During your turn, this creature has first strike. Sure. And for 5 mana, creatures you control get +1/+1. Again, this is fine. Like a 2 mana 2/1 with first strike on the attack is pretty good. For nobody's going to want to block first strike early, so this probably gets some chip damage in, unless there's like 2 mana 3/3s or something like that. So this probably does okay. Again, we'd have to look, and like once you get to 5 mana, you can, if you've just got a bunch of white weenies, you can pump them all and swing. Like I think this card is okay. It's certainly better than the last card. Again, I think if you see this, I'd probably take this. If you're doing some sort of white weenie like early aggro strategy, I'd probably run this. What's this? Clarion Conqueror? 3 mana for a 3/3 flyer. Activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can't be activated. Oh. I mean, this is good, right? A 3 mana 3/3 flyer and limited. That's just good. That'll end some games. And also, it turns off activated abilities, which, I mean, could be bad for you because we've already seen 2 activated abilities and we've only been here for a couple of minutes, but I mean, it's a 3 mana 3/3 flyer. You probably just take that in limited and you're probably happy about it. But yeah, this is all activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can't be activated. So including you. So you have to like either not have it interact with anything or like know that it's not, you're not going to be able to do any of the onboard stuff. Like this is fine in like a super aggro deck where you're hoping to just finish the game by like turn 5 or 6. And to be fair, this is probably still fine as well, because even if you do have, say, like the Bearer of Glory out, your opponent has to kill this, right? It's a 3/3 flyer. They have to either find something that can get in the way or just kill it with removal. Which means that they probably have to kill this, which means all of your stuff comes back on anyway. Like, this is probably more damning for your opponent than it is for you. At least you can play around it being more damning for your opponent than it is for you. So I think this card is good. And I think in limited, the 3/3 flyer for 3 is all you care about. I think the activated abilities of artifact creatures and planeswalkers can't be activated. It's just, you know, something else that you either have to play around or is a benefit. Coordinated Maneuver. I think this is a reprint. 2 mana for an instant, deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target enchantment. I feel like I've seen Coordinated Maneuver before. And I mean, it's removal. It's, you know, you could also destroy enchantments if there is a problem enchantment. We haven't seen one yet, but if there is, it's good. But yeah, it's removal. Deals damage equal to the number of creatures you have, which in white you're hoping to have more than your opponent. So yeah, this is good. It's just, again, in limited, this is great. Dalkovan Pack Beasts. A 3 mana 0/4 with Vigilance. Mobilize 3. Whenever this creature attacks, create 3 tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Interesting. So this doesn't do any damage by itself. It is a 3 mana 0/4 with Vigilance that does nothing. But you can swing with it without being worried about taking too much damage back because it has Vigilance and a fat ass, so you can block with it. And then it vomits 3 1/1s. I know you have to sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step, but there's a lot of shenanigans you can do with sacrifice. I haven't seen any yet, but I mean, assuming there are some in the set or else this ability is bad, this could be a really good little card. I haven't, this is the first time seeing Mobilize. And I haven't seen anything that would interact with this. I mean, I suppose there's the pump guy that pumps all your dudes, but that's a very sort of like, I have dudes sort of. That's not specifically interacting with Mobilize. I think this is a good card. Yeah, it has to be, right? I mean, it's technically, because if your opponent only has 1 creature on the board and this attacks, it's even better than being a 3/4. Because your opponent could just block a 3/4 and then nothing would happen. Because when this attacks, they don't block this, they block one of the 1/1s, and they still take 2 damage, and this can still block on the swing back. I think this is a good card. Like, in Limited specifically, I think this is a good card. We'll have to see what sacrifice shenanigans there are, but I think this is a good card. Descendant of Storms. A 1-mana 2/1. Whenever this creature's attack, you may pay 2. If you do, it endures 1. It gets a +1/+1 counter and a 1/1 white, and you create a 1/1 white spirit creature token. This is good. Because, like, you play this on turn 1, your opponent doesn't play something, you play another land on turn 2, attack with this, pay the ability, you get a 3/2 and an additional 1/1. Like, if your opponent doesn't play anything the turn after that as well, you can do it again, and you can make this a 4/3, and you have another 1/1. Like, it's probably keeping up with what your opponent's playing on that turn, and at least trading with it, if not just overrunning it. Or, like, running over it. That does mean you're not playing cards from your hand. But, I mean, that's going to be... people are going to have to make that decision for themselves, whether they want the extra cards from their hand, or whether they just want this to be the only target for removal. Like, I reckon this can absolutely get out of hand if your opponent has a slow start. Like, if your opponent doesn't play anything till turn 3, and you get this down on turn 1, this is what? 1, 2... So, like, it's a 2/1, then you attack with it on turn 2, and it's a 3/2. You attack with it on turn 3, it's a 4/3. Even if your opponent plays something there, and you attack with it the following turn, it's a 5/4, and you have 3 1/1. Out of one creature. On your opponent's, like, turn 3, because they haven't had their turn 4 yet. It's so good. This card could get out of control big and do a lot of damage just by itself. Endure seems like a very scary mechanic as well. Make the one thing bigger and vomit tokens. The Endure looks like a very strong ability. Man, this can get really scary really fast. Dragonback Lancer, a 4-mana 3/3 with flying and mobilize. This is probably pretty good as well. I mean, it's a 3/3 flyer, so you probably take it. 4 mana's a bit much for a 3/3, but it's got evasion, so yeah, it's good. And then whenever it attacks, you vomit an extra guy. Because if they don't have a flyer, they can't block this. Sure, they can block the extra guy, but you're still just making an extra dude every turn. Even if they get sacrificed, you have a chance to, you know, sack them to things, or attack with other creatures and make the math complicated. I think this is a good card, definitely. Duty Beyond Death. 2 mana for an instant. As initial cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Creatures you control get indestructible until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you... Oh, this is very good. I don't know how much board wipey removal there is in this set. I haven't seen any yet. But especially with the token vomiting stuff, you can attack with a bunch of dudes, trigger the mobilize like 4 or 5 times, and then when your opponent blocks stuff, you just sacrifice one of the blocked creatures. Everything gets indestructible, everything gets big, and just maul your opponent in the face. Like, this is a good sacrifice thing. I did say, like, what sacrifice stuff is there for this set? This is one, and it is good. This might even be standard good because of how cheap it is, and it just blocks board wipes. But then, no, because the big board wipe at the moment that came out with the last set just removes indestructible first. The spectacular pile-up. So white still just gets to say, I don't care about your indestructibility, haha, JK, and just slap you in the face, so. Elspeth Stormslayer. Okay, so this is the other Planeswalker. A 5-mana, 5-loyalty Planeswalker. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many tokens are created instead. Oh, good. It's fucking doubling season, stapled to a Planeswalker's ass. Not doubling season. What's the white version? The 4-mana white version? Oh, God. I can't remember. Anointed Procession. It's Anointed Procession stapled to Elspeth's ass. Great. And she creates 1/1s as her +1. So her +1 is create 2 1/1 White Soldier creature tokens. So she does block for herself. And her 0 puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, they gain flying. And her -3 is destroy target creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or greater. So she's got make 2 dudes to block, overrun with flying, and get rid of your opponent's scary creature. Bro, why? Were they like, we have to make this Elspeth as good as, like, old Ugin? This is crazy. I mean, it is 5 mana. Like, it is the absolute top end of what you're playing in, like, a token weenie deck. But it is everything you want in a token weenie deck, stapled to a planeswalker. It is token generation, token doubling, board buffing, granting them all an ability of an evasive ability, and also, just because it can, has a destroy a problem threat thing. Like, God, this thing's good, right? This thing is insane. This is way better than the Ugin, isn't it? Apart from the fact that it's in white, so it's not colorless. Just the fact that it's a planeswalker with Anointed Procession stapled to it is great. This, okay, if you see this card in limited, you have to play this, essentially, right? It will win you every game you get it on the board, pretty much. Like, your opponent has to have specifically Planeswalker removal to get to this, because you're making 2 soldiers when it comes down. And any of your other abilities, like, those abilities that summon the 1/1s that sacrifice at end of turn, double them. The abilities that make the ghosts every time anything happens, double them. Like, this is cracked out of control good. This is the best card we've seen by far. Like, again, hey Lily, how you doing? Maybe I just have a bit of a hatred towards Ugin because old Ugin was printed so busted overpowered and new Ugin just doesn't read that good. But this Elspeth is absolutely fucking insane. How's your day going, Lily, by the way? I hope you're having a good one. That's all I have to say about it. This card's probably insane in limited. It's probably insane in standard. It's probably insane in commander. This card is just insane. Just is. Fortress Kin Guard. 2 mana for a 1/2. When it enters, it endures. So it's actually a 2/3, and you get an additional 1/1. This is good. This is good. 2 mana, 2/3, good for the stats, and it has an extra 1/1 just in case for sacrifice shenanigans. I'm doing well, just going to be lurking. Okay, well, it's good to see you, and feel free to enjoy your lurking. Yeah, this card is just good, right? Like, it is a... I mean, it's not standard good, don't be silly, but it is in limited. I'm happy with this card in my deck. It is a 2 mana, 2/3 that comes with a 1/1. Like, if you're doing token shenanigans or anything like that, +1/+1 stuff, I don't know what this set does. We've only just seen the white cards and Ugin, but this is good. This is just a nice card to have. Like, it's not game-breaking busted like this crap is, but it's just a nice card to have. Furious Forebear, a 2 mana 3/1. Whenever a creature you control dies, while this card is in your graveyard, you may pay 2. If you do return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. I mean, it's a nice bit of recursion. It does cost, which is a bit of a problem. Like, I mean, this is the thing. If you just happen to have 2 mana up and you can recur this when a creature you control dies, that's fine. But it's returning to your hand, so you do have to replay it. So it's like 4 mana to replay a 3/1. Which could be good. It kind of depends. I don't think this is as insane as some of the other, like, I don't think this card is great, but I think it's, it's definitely playable. And it doesn't say non-token, so you can, like, dunk those 1/1 spirits under stuff and then just bring this back and turn them into 3/1s. But again, it's going to cost 4 to do that, and 4 mana for a 3/1 is meh at best. Lightfoot technique. 2 mana for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Gains flying and indestructible until end of turn. Sure. I don't mind. I don't really use combat tricks that often, but I do regularly get my ass beaten by people using combat tricks because I'm just like, okay, well, they've got an early aggressive hand. I'm on like 3 health. I have to block here, and then they just always have it. So, like, I probably won't take this card, but I guarantee you there is at least one time when we're streaming draft when this card just fucking batters me. But yeah, I think it's fine. The +1/+1 counter is nice. The flying is a way to give evasion so you can just kill somebody, and the indestructible just means that you always survive a fight, which is great. Loxodon Battle Priest, 5 mana for a 3/5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. This is good in limited. This is great. Like, in standard, this is way too slow and way too expensive. But I think in limited, this is fine. This is good. And, like, because so often in limited, your board's going to be like, you have 5 creatures, your opponent has 5 creatures, they're all about the same power and toughness, but if one of you swings, the blocker has the advantage. So, you just play this, you just sit there and just grow one of your dudes over time until your opponent is forced to use a removal on this, on the dude that's huge, or until you can swing and they have to like multi-block and you get a good trade out of it. So, I like, specifically in limited, this is a good card. Probably, I don't know if it's great, but I would certainly pick this in a like +1/+1 or white weenie as like a top end card because you can just buff things constantly. So yeah, I like that. Mardu Devotee. Okay, a 1 mana 1/2 when it enters Scry 2, sure, and then it has mana conversion so that you don't get screwed over by mana. It depends how like crazy good the gold cards are for this. I think a 1 mana 1/2 that lets you scry, this is perfectly playable. Like, if you see this, perfectly playable, just for the top half. The mana conversion thing, it depends how important it is to have access to all 3 of your colors as quickly as possible. Like, if the gold cards for Mardu are like absolutely game-breaking busted, you want as many of this card as you can run, so that you can always have the full Mardu colors whenever you need them. But I think most of the time, depending on how good the cards are when we get there, most of the time this is just a 1 mana 1/2 that lets you scry 2, which is limited. Fine. Pretty good, in fact. But it's, you know, it's not game winning, it's just a good way to start your turn. Like this turn 1, I don't think anyone's complaining about that. But it doesn't produce mana, it converts mana being the main thing, which, again, white doesn't exactly do mana production. That's more of a green thing. And I guess sometimes black gets to do it as well. And red. Usually black does it by sacrificing things. Red does it with spells. And green just does it. So, yeah, like, this is pretty good. Osseous Exhale? Sure, whatever. 2 mana for an instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may behold a dragon. Okay. You may choose a dragon you control or reveal a dragon card from your hand. It deals 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Okay. If a dragon was beheld, you gain 2 life. Yeah. I mean, it's removal. It always works as removal. It's just if you have a dragon, it gets a little bit nicer. This is good. It's just removal. Again, it's not like just remove anything. It has to be an attacking or blocking creature. But in limited, that comes up quite a lot. So yeah, it's probably good. Poised Practitioner, a 3 mana 2/3 with Flurry. We're actually seeing a lot of the, like, card text. So, Flurry, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, scry 1. Okay. Okay, that's decent. I'm assuming Flurry is going to be... So, what do we think? Let's go back. So, I assume Endure is Abzan, green, white, black. Mobilize is Mardu, red, white, black. Which means Flurry is Jeskai, white, red, blue, right? So Jeskai is second spell each turn. Yeah, okay, because they do like spell sling. They do usually do spell slingy stuff. I mean, the fact that it's a +1/+1 counter is nice. I think this is good. Like, it's a 3-mana 2/3, which isn't good. But if you start casting 2 spells a turn after this, you get that this gets bigger and bigger, and it gives you the benefit of letting you, you know, sort out the top of your deck a little bit. As long as Jeskai has access to some cheap draw spells, this thing can really help him out. So, yeah, I don't mind this at all. I don't hate this. I think this is a nice little, you know, just helpful card. Rally the Monastery. Okay, 4 mana for an instant. Costs 2 less to cast if you cast another spell this turn. Okay. Choose one. Either create 2 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess at instant speed. Okay. Up to 2 target creatures you control each get +2/+2. Sure. Or destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Okay, this is actually a really nice little all bases covered spell, right? If you just need to make dudes, it makes dudes. So if the bare minimum is I make dudes, fine. Especially for 2 mana. 2 mana making 2 dudes at instant speed is pretty good. Especially the prowess tokens as well, so you can get them buffed by spells. That's pretty good. 2 target creatures each get +2/+2 until end of turn. 4 mana is very expensive for that. 2 mana is fine for that. But that's a combat trick, so you win all combat, or just a way to kill your opponent if you need to. And then it is at bare minimum removal. So, like, I think this card is... Like, I think you either do the top one or the bottom one a lot more than you do the middle. But I think this is a decent card because it has so much flexibility on it. So, yeah, I like this card. Rebellious Strike. 2 mana, target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn, draw a card. Sure, like Cantripy. Doesn't give anything like First Strike or anything, so not great. But if you have Prowess, it triggers Prowess, so the 1/1 creature will go to being a 2/2. This will make it a 5/2, plus you get to draw a card out of it. If this is your second spell of a turn, that +1/+1 guy would get a +1/+1 counter, and you'd get to scry before you draw. Like, it could be pretty good. I think this is, like, specifically in Jeskai. I mean, maybe like you just use this as a way to just crack your opponent for some extra damage and draw a card. It does replace itself, so yeah, and it's cheap. Not the worst card ever. I probably wouldn't run it again. I don't tend to use combat tricks and stuff like that. I always find that when my opponent is using combat tricks, I have no way of interacting with them. But when I use combat tricks, my opponents have all of the removal they could ever dream of to get rid of the things that I'm trying to combat trick into them. So I tend to avoid combat tricks because I'm salty. But, oh well. Yeah, I think this is a fine card. Specifically for Jeskai, probably. For the other ones, maybe not so much, but maybe they just like the draw a card side, and the +3/+0 is just a nice upside. Bryling Dawnbreaker. Okay. Is a 5 mana dragon with flying vigilance at the beginning of combat on your turn. Another type creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and it's a 3/4, which is good. I mean, it's a flyer, so you probably run it. And then it has Signaling Roar for 2 as a sorcery omen. Create a 2/2 white soldier creature token. Then shuffle this card into its owner's library. Okay, so Omen looks like Adventure, but instead of exiling the card to play later, you shuffle the card back into your library so you can draw it later? So it's not as good as Adventure. But I don't hate it. Like, I really, really dislike the Adventure cards, and so seeing this setup, where it's got the half a spell, half a creature, I was having PTSD flashbacks to fucking, what was it, Wilds of Eldraine, and I was ready to start molding. But it's not. It's not that bad, because you don't just get the card to you don't just say, hey, look, here's my good creature that also has a good spell on it, so I'll play the good spell first and then just have the creature when I'm ready for it. Now it's actually a choice. Do you play the cheap spell, dunk the creature, and draw it later? Or do you pay the big creature and don't worry about the spell because the spell's going to get rid of the creature? I actually like this more than Adventure. I think I definitely like this more than Adventure. And I think for 5 mana, a 3/4 flying vigilance that pumps something is good in it's fine in limited. We've seen some other around about the same size flyers for cheaper, so but the fact that you can just like turn 2 be like, well, I'm not playing this dragon for 3 more turns, let's get a 2/2 out of it and then just move on with your life is, I think, pretty good. I think I like this. I think I like Omen a lot more than I like Adventure. And I know there's going to be some people out there that are just like, no, Adventure's way better. You're right. Adventure is way better. But that's why I like Omen over Adventure. Because Adventure, I feel, was just like, hey, look, I could either play a creature that's good or a creature that's good with a spell stapled to them in case I need it. So why would you ever just play the creature? You just, the normal creature, you just play the adventure creature. At least this one, you actually have to decide, rather than just always taking the adventure creature because it's better and always casting the adventure because you still get the creature anyway. Like, this one is actually a consideration instead of just being good stapled to good stapled to good. Like, that was my problem with adventure for like a whole I don't think the 3-year rotation had been around yet. So for like 2 whole years, everyone was just playing adventure creatures because they were just better than normal creatures because they came with a useful spell attached to them as well. And it's like, I mean, yes, but why? Like, do you remember, again, I don't know how long people have been playing when they watch, but there was Beanstalk Giant, which was, you know, a 3-mana ramp card, which was about what you paid in that set, but attached to a giant-ass creature as well. So why would you ever play a normal ramp card that's not stapled to a giant creature? You wouldn't. You just play Beanstalk Giant for 3 years. And it's just like, okay, cool, but I don't, like, I'm sick and tired of seeing this stupid fucking adventure Beanstalk Giant. Maybe again, I have things that I don't like. I don't like just certain cards being specifically better than every other card on the planet. And I know they've tried to take it upon themselves to ban some stuff, but I know they don't do it with everything. Like 4-mana Shield Rod. It's around at the moment. The black 4-mana Shield Rod that's just great for its stats, also has Death Touch in case there is anything bigger on the planet, and drains your opponent for life every turn, and heals you every turn. Like, oh good, is there a better black card to play on turn 4? No! Just none at all. So why would I ever play anything else? Okay, sure. But yeah, that was my problem with adventure cards, is that they were just better than everything else because they had other, like, useful stuff stapled to them. I like Omen a lot more because now it's actually a choice. Do you cast the Omen or do you save for the creature? Is actually a thought process you have to have rather than just, I'll just cast it whenever it's available for me to cast. So I like this. I wasn't sure what Omen was. I am very pleased Omen is this, and it makes me happy. Sage of the Skies, a 3-mana 2/3. When you cast a spell, give me a second. When you cast a spell, if you've cast another spell this turn, copy this spell. with flying and lifelink. Okay. So, yeah, in Jeskai, if you've got a bunch of cheap shit, like, this is cracked, right? I mean, if you have, like, a 1 mana draw spell, probably in blue, you've paid 1 mana to draw, you play this, and you get 2/2/3s with flying and lifelink. That's good, right? That's good. On turn 4, that has to be good. Like, specifically in Limited, that has to be good. Yeah, I think this card is great. I think the issue is you kind of have to play a spell before this. And it means you also have to play, like, whatever you're playing to trigger this in your turn. But I think this has to be good, right? Even if you're playing like a 1 mana creature and then this, or even like a 2 mana creature or 2 mana thing, so you need 5 mana. 5 mana is essentially 2/2/3s with flying and lifelink good. It will certainly make me happy in Limited. That's what we're talking about, Noob. We're talking about Limited. I think it's good. Like, it just has to be good in Limited, right? It's got evasion. It's got sustain with lifelink, and you can get multiple of them. Like, I think this is good. I think it has to be, and especially with like the token copying Elspeth, you could get a bunch of these things. But I mean, that's Magical Christmas Land, where you have this and Elspeth in the same deck, and Elspeth is down when you play this card. Like that is absolute Magical Christmas Land. So don't bet on that. But yeah, this has to be a good card in Limited. It has to be. Salt Road Pack Beast even. 6 mana for a 4/3, but it costs 1 less for each creature you control. And when it enters, draw a card. Okay. I don't hate this. Mardu seems to be doing... Mardu and Abzan are doing tokeny things, right? Abzan's doing the 1/1 spirits and +1/+1 counters. And Mardu's just vomiting dudes that are attacking and then sacrificing them at the end of the turn. But if you attack, spawn like 5 guys for the Mardu trigger, and then even if like only 3 of them survive, this costs 3 less in your second main phase. Like, this probably costs 0. Or cost 1 in your second main phase, right? Because if you've got 2 creatures, attack with both, spawn 5 guys, which is definitely doable. Even if 2 of the guys get killed, that still means that you have 5 creatures total until the end of turn. And this costs 1. And like, I think this is deceptively good if you have a bunch of token generation, because it just replaced itself. It's just a free 4/3 essentially. Because you play it, you draw a card, and it probably costs 1 mana. Like, even if Jeskai has ways to generate more prowessy monk tokens or whatever, like the wherever it was, where was it? This one, the 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. If you could make a whole bunch of those and then just like attack, and then just this is a 1 mana draw a card spell, which is exactly what you want. Like, I think every single version of white likes this card. Mardu plays it after they attack. Jeskai just plays it whenever, and then other spells to trigger their second spell each turn. Yeah, it helps you dig and seal when the board state is stale. Yeah, I think it's just good. Like, I was looking at it and I was like, a 6 mana 4/3, but I think in anything running white in this set, it's not 6 mana, it's probably 1. It's most likely 1 mana. So I think this is just good. Smile at Death. A 5 mana enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Return up to 2 target creature cards with power 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures. So this just wins you a game. If you get this down and don't immediately die in Limited, this probably just wins you a game, as long as you've got creatures in your graveyard that this can trigger on. Because you summon both of them, even if your opponent attacks into them and they die, next turn you summon both of them, because they don't get exiled. They just come back unless your opponent can interact with this or your graveyard. Assuming you're doing like small aggro stuff, like what was it? What triggers this? Like this guy can trigger it because that's 2. The devotee, the fortress kin guard, which also makes another guy. The descendant of storms, which can also make more guys. The pack beasts, which I thought were pretty good because I could summon 1,000,000 dudes. All of this just gets brought back. I think if you are in white and you have small creatures, this card is insane. Because this just reads every turn you get 2 creatures. Unless your opponent can interact with this or interact with your graveyard, this is at the beginning of your upkeep, get 2 creatures and then draw a card and get all of your mana and your hand to do whatever you want with. This is insane if you have creatures in the graveyard for this to trigger. Like, again, if you play this on just a board and have your graveyard is empty and you just play this, your opponent's just going to be like, okay. But if you play this and you've got 2 creatures with power 2 or less or in your graveyard, they're probably just going to die. Because they come back and then you can block with them, or your opponent doesn't attack, you wait a turn, you swing with them. They either take damage to the face or block and kill them. If they block and kill them, they just come straight back. Like, your opponent is kind of... I mean, they don't come straight back. Your opponent gets a turn to swing back, I suppose. So maybe you have to do some maths on the, crack back. But I think most of the time, this is game winning. Because you just keep bringing things back. I think this is pretty game winning. That is a very scary... Do they have like a full set of these for each of the colors? I hope they do. That is very good. Starry-Eyed Skyrider. A 3-mana 1/3. Yeah, it comes back. Okay, sorry. A 3-mana 1/3. Flying, whenever this creature attacks, another creature you control gains flying until end of turn. Attacking tokens you control have flying. Oh. Again, this is really good, right? Like in all versions of white, Mardu makes 1/1 attacking tokens on the attack, all of which now gain flying. Abzan makes white soldier white spirit tokens whenever they trip over a stone, and now they all have flying. Even Jeskai has the monk tokens with prowess, and now they all have flying. Like, this is just great, right? I don't know. White's looking scary and limited with all of this token interaction and token generation. This is looking scary. Static Snare, 5 mana, flash. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature. Okay. When this enchantment enters, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Yeah, this is good. This is removal. And it's actually really good removal, thinking about it. What? Hop on, nerds, we're going flying. Exactly. The Static Snare is good, right? Like, if your opponent attacks with 2 things, this is like Oblivion Ring, but with flash. I suppose not Oblivion Ring. Oblivion Ring has weird interactions and hits anything. But you know what I mean. It's like the standard exile something for 3 mana. If your opponent attacks with more than 2 things, this is better than most of those. Because you don't have to exile the attack anything that's attacking you. You just need things attacking you. Oh, it doesn't have to be attacking you. It's just attacking creatures. So you can swing out with 5 guys and then make Static Snare cost 1. And then play it in your combat phase. And just start removing things. Is it just me, or is white really spoopy in this set? Like, I feel like white in draft is going to be really fucking scary. Yeah, this card's cracked, actually. Because you can use this while you're being aggressive. Like, you can just swing out and make this cost 1 and then just start playing them. This is scary. Storm Beacon Blade is a 2-mana equipment. Sure, it gives something +3/+0. Sure. Whenever a creature attacks, draw a card if you control 3 or more attacking creatures. I don't care for equipment. I find whenever I try and equip a creature with equipment, my opponent blows it up. So, yeah. I mean, once it's on the field, the equip 2 and then swing with a creature so that you can draw a card and the creature has +3 attack isn't bad. Especially there's a lot of token generation. That not for Mardu, because Mardu do it while attacking and you can't equip. You equip at sorcery speed. But Abzan making the spirits, you can just equip this to your spirits and just start going. Jeskai making the monk tokens, you can equip this to your monks and just start swinging for the fences. So maybe this is a bit more reasonable because there's so much token generation in white. But most of the time I avoid equipment because I'm just like, I don't really care. They're just going to kill the creature. But maybe, like, again, you feel if you put this on a token, are there artifact shenanigans in this set? So New Ugin does colorless, but not artifact. We have already seen New Ugin. And he does colorless stuff, but that's not colorless, that's just an artifact. So Storm Plane Detainment. Okay, 3 mana. When this enchantment enters, exile target non-land. Okay, so this is your normal version. This is just exile something for 3 mana. So this is like your normal version of this. So yeah, that's just a basic, sure, whatever. Sun Pearl Kirin. 2 mana for a 2/1 with flash and flying. When this creature enters, return up to 1 other target non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. If it was a token, draw a card. Again, this is pretty good, right? This has to be, like, first of all, it's got flash, so you could use it on a creature that's going to die. And secondly, it's got flying, so it's just a good attacker because it's got evasion. And finally, if you're like Mardu and you're making those 1/1 attacking tokens that get sacrificed at the end of turn, this is just get rid of a token because they're going away anyway, draw a card. This is good. I think even in the other ones, like Abzan, this is probably fine. Again, I don't know how much you want to be getting rid of your tokens, but you certainly can. And even Jeskai seems to have a way to make the monk tokens. The monk tokens are probably the last thing you want to bounce with this, because, you know, they are very good to have on the board because they can get big. But I don't hate it. I think mostly just a flash flying bounce save a creature is what this is good for. But also with the Mardu being able to do extra stuff is just draw extra cards is just good. I think it's a good card. Yeah, I think this is good in limited. Teeming Dragonstorm. Okay. 4 mana. When this enchantment enters, create 2/2/2 white soldier creature tokens. Cool. And when a dragon you control enters, return this to its owner's hand. So, alright. I think this is cool. And I think this could be good. But I think it's a lot of hoops to jump through for some 2/2. Right? 4 mana, create 4/4 worth of stats across 2 bodies. And then if I play a dragon, which is probably an entire turn, this comes back, and then I get to play it again and make more 2/2s. I don't know. If the board is completely stalled out, you can kind of just overwhelm with this thing. But how many dragons are you running? Realistically. We've seen 1 so far in 1. We saw that Omen guy. It'd be better if they had Vigilance. Yeah, they don't have any abilities. And again, it's one of... So, what was it? There are cards that have done this sort of thing before. I think the most recent one was the Crime set. Thunder Junction. Had a blue and black card that was like, when you play it, you're like, you draw a card and your opponent discards a card. and then every time you commit a crime, it goes back to your hand or something. There was another one in an old what's it? The set with the guilds, an old Demir set that was when this enters, your opponent loses a life and you gain a life, and whenever you did something, it would bounce back to your hand. And these cards are just too slow. They are always just too slow. This is probably better than most because it makes bodies, but I just don't see how many times you're bouncing this, and every time you bounce it, like, it's not, you know, incredible for the mana cost, right? It's not insane, it's just kind of okay. So, I don't know. I think this is just okay. I think maybe if you get... Because you have to pay for it every time. I don't think... Nah, I think this is just okay. I'm not particularly excited about this card. I think it's a cool idea that you can keep bouncing it and playing it and bringing more dudes out and more dudes out, but it doesn't happen in Limited. You don't have critical mass. Like, unless you get, like, unless there's a million dragons I haven't seen yet, or you get really lucky, you won't have critical mass of dragons. So yeah, I don't think this is that good. Tempest Hawk. 3 mana for a 2/2 flyer. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for Tempest Hawk, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You can have any numbers of Tempest Hawk. Sure. I don't think this is a limited card. I think this is a meme. I feel like I've seen a card very similar to this before. Like, specifically a bird that did this. Is this a reprint, or am I insane? I don't know. But I don't think this card's very good, right? It's a 2/2 for 3 that gets unlimited 2/2s. Maybe this is just good enough? I don't know. This is weird to me. I don't know if this is good enough. And also, you're not going to get critical mass of these. Again, it's another thing. The same with this dragon. You need a critical mass of dragons. You need a critical mass of Tempest Hawks. You need, what, like 10 of these? So that you could just keep chaining them like an absolute nutter. And you're not going to get that in draft or limited. You're probably going to get like 3. At that point, the bottom deck can have any number of cards. Say Tempest Hawk doesn't even come into effect. Like, in limited, it's whatever. I mean, it's probably fine. It's a 2/2 that goes and fetches another 2/2 and puts it into your hand. Probably actually better than I'm giving it credit for in limited. But you're not going to have the critical mass of like 10 of them. You're just going to have, this is just going to trigger like 3 times. Put this in a deck if you're desperate for flyers. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like it is a flyer, so that's, you can play it in limited, but it's not like insane. Oh, my nose. United Battlefront. 4 mana for a sorcery. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put 2 non-creature, non-land permanent cards with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest... Oh, it's Collected Company. It's slow-ass Collected Company, but it's Collected Company. Wait, Collected Company was total 4 or less, right? How did Collected Company read again? It doesn't matter. This is worse than Collected Company. Because literally it says sorcery on the card, which means it's worse than Collected Company. Is it still good enough? Paying 4 mana for 6 mana's worth of value is probably really good. I think this is a good card. I think you run this in limited probably. Although there is a more, depending on how you've built your deck, there is more of a chance in limited that you whiff this. Nah, probably not actually. You're probably not making like a whole bunch of putting a whole bunch of super expensive stuff in a limited deck. Nah, I think this is good. Yeah, I think this is just 4 mana, get 5-6 mana's worth of value out of your deck. Like, it's not Collected Company insane because it's not instant speed, but it's still good. So, yeah, I think I like this card. I think this is a good limited card. I think this is great. Voice of Victory. A 2 mana 1/3 with mobilize 2, so whenever it attacks, you get to far out 2 1/1s. Cool. And your opponent can't cast spells during your turn. This is a real middle finger to control players. I like this. This is actually pretty good in limited as well, because it's a 3-mana 1/3 that just makes dudes for your sacrifice and all the rest of your shenanigans. But yeah, this is just a nice early middle finger to control players, which I'm happy about. Like, you go first against a blue deck with this card. Like, you play first turn, 1 white mana. Their first turn, 1 blue. Second turn, 2nd white mana. Play the Voice of Victory. The blue player goes, I concede. And you're just like, congratulations, buddy, you played yourself. Like, that's it, right? Unless they bounce it to your hand, but then they don't have the 2 mana open to counter, so on your turn you just Voice of Victory again, and then they have to play a land, bounce a second time, and then they have the 2 mana to counter, but at that point you're on 4 mana, and, well, again, they've used, yeah. I think this is just a nice big middle finger to control players, and this makes me happy. Blue players specifically, because fuck your drawing and countering and playing in my turn. I would prefer to play in my turn and then you play in yours, thanks. I like this card. Wayspeaker Bodyguard. 4 mana for a 3/4. When it enters, return target non-land permanent with mana value less, 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, not to the battlefield, but sure. Flurry. Whenever you cast your 2nd spell each turn, tap target creature an opponent controls. Meh. This is fine, I guess. Like, the recursion's nice, so you can bring back a small thing. And the flurry is once a turn, tap something if you can play 2 spells. It's not terrible. I'm not, over the moon about it, but I think you probably take 1 of these in your deck. I think you're fine with this. Like, it's not, you're not bouncing out of your chair with excitement at the sight of it, but it's perfectly playable. It's a decent workhorse. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think I'm a bit off just because the flurry... Like, I feel like the last flurry we saw, the one that was like, put a +1/+1 counter on this and scry 1, is like actively useful for players who are doing like, draw and that sort of like Jeskai thing where you're trying to play multiple spells and like trigger prowess a bunch and all the rest of that. This is just, you cast 2 spells and go, haha, that guy can't block, and that's kind of it. So, well, I suppose you can do it in their turn as well. As long as you can cast 2 spells in their turn, you can tap down their thing. Okay. Yeah, it's not terrible. Just kind of a bit mediocre. Hey, that was all of white. Okay, so let's go back and have a quick run through. I do like the Voice of Victory. I think not good. I think Slow Collected Company is probably still good. Smile at Death is cracked out control. And what's it? Where is she? Elspeth Stormslayer, absolutely fucking cracked out control. Like, Anointed Procession stapled to a Planeswalker is not something a Planeswalker needed. Like, this is stupid. So yeah. But there are some hard-working cards. Like I said, I like the Pack Beasts. A 0/4 that makes 3 1/1s. Like, with fucking Elspeth, it makes 6 1/1s. Like, this puts some... This card, Descendant of Storms, as well, puts a lot of work in. A 1 mana 2/1 that the next turn becomes a 3/2 and makes a spirit. Like, there's so many cards that just do good stuff. Even this Fortress Kingguard that is just a 2 mana 2/3 that makes a spirit. Like, it's just, there's a lot of really, like, good cards. Like, cards I think are going to do work in a lot of decks, not just in white. So I think white looks pretty fucking good. If you get some of the mythics or rares in white, you are laughing. But there are some kind of, like, mediocre... Like, again, Voice of Victory isn't great in limited. I just like it because it's a big middle finger to control players. Where's the other one? Where's the dragon? That is essentially, yeah. Clarion Conqueror. This is very similar. The only reason I'm running this in my white limited deck is because it's a 3/3 flyer for 3. I think the activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can't be activated. I'm just like, sure, I don't really care. I'm just running it. I forgot we went fast and offensive. This card's cracked out control as well. There are some really like mediocre rares, and then there are some absolute bomb ass rares and mythics, right?